So let's get this going. Hey guys, this is JaYung here, and for the first time ever, I'm going to tell you guys what my actual name is. My name is Justin Young, and I got inspired a week ago. Zess, who's a part of the CVO clan team, based off of the Starcast podcast, has sent me a replay pack of some ZVP. And he wanted me to do some analyzing, so I did. I'm a big Protoss fan. I play Protoss myself, but I saw some good stuff, so I'm gonna. I really need to stop looking at my chat right now. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna look at some ZVP here. Just a couple ladder games. He did submit some games against other clan members, Vitality specifically, but I did not. I'm not going to show those to you guys today. Just some random ladder matches and some common themes we're going to see is getting up an expansion against Zerg as soon as possible. So in one game we're going to see a Forge fast expand on Tal'Darim, Ream, which is a typical map to do that. So that's typical stuff. And then on a second game we're going to share. We only have time for 2 games. I have to leave in about as soon as I can. We're going to see a response to a Zerg rush, and then barely defend something like that off, and get your expansion up as soon as you can after that. So why don't we get into the first game? So I don't have to talk that much, and see what we can do here. I'd really help if I had this actually loaded. So like I said, the first game, it's gonna be on Tal'Darim Altar against a Zerg that does, you know, a typical build is gonna go 14 pool and expand off of that. But what we're gonna see here is a basic theme on getting that expansion up as soon as you can, and then what Zess is gonna do here. Let's pause this and get you right into the game. Okay, so what Zess is gonna do here, he's gonna get his expansion up and then go for some DT play. So we're gonna see how this works out, how he transitions this into smoothly, and how Zerg responds, and basically to just see, well, what improvements we can find here, and also what we can learn from here. As Zess is a Masters Protoss, so it's on the NA server, so we can probably equivalent to that, maybe the Diamond in Korean. I don't know. A good friend of mine. He's a good player, and he's a pretty young guy. I think he just turned 17, so some young kids out there who are really good at this game. Let's get this game going. And to save time, we're going to speed things up a little bit, just to skip the interesting stuff. I mean, it's interesting to note here that Zess is openly admitted DTs is his favorite unit, and so it's not surprising that he's doing a strategy like this, and he's been telling me that he's been doing excellent with his PvZ lately. So I'm out of here. So we're going to see a 14 pool. Let's slow this down just a little bit. We're going to see a 14 pool out of the Zerg player, nothing too specific, and we're going to see this Nexus go up early before Forge. And this is based on the fact that this probe doesn't see anything too early, no 10 pool, no 11 pool. Let's slow this down here. Okay. So we got this Nexus up, and we're getting this Forge as soon as we get the minerals for it. Forge on 17. And this is all so you can get this expansion up as soon as you can, get a decent number of probes and get an economic advantage above your Zerg player. But as we're going to see here, I'm not quite sure what Zess was doing here. He had this probe just chilling, maybe just checking the expansion, but I thought when I was looking at this at first he was maybe going to cannon rush this expansion, but it ends up picking off later, as we see. But not much else. So you see a typical gateway and then cannon, and you still have this hole here. See, this is why he was able to get this Nexus first, because this pool, as we see here, we do have no lanes production yet, so this might have just been lucky. But even if you did start the lanes right away, see that this gateway comes down, so you're going to have enough time to get this wall off. And in general, especially for a lower league player, it's a good idea just to check if this hole is even open, if anything can get through it with this probe, as he did here. And we're going to see these 4 lanes come up, spot the expansion, and actually cancel the gateway. So even the Zerg player, let's go back to his camera view, sees him put this gate up, and he doesn't see the cancel. But he doesn't actually look at this. He doesn't actually click on what it is. So he really could think it's a side core, or it's a gateway. In this case, I think he just put the gateway up just to secure the wall off, just being as cautious as possible. But I think canceling it and putting up your tech is a good idea. And not much else going on here. We got gases, all 3 gases going down at about the same time. This one goes up before these 2. And nothing special. See, the advantage here, we got 30 to 19 workers advantage for Zess. So he's taking a commanding lead right now. Basically, all he has to do is find some sort of good transition and scout for any all-ins. If you don't see any tech, no Roach Warren for the Zerg player. Nothing special going on here. All he has to do is basically keep this lead. He can put more gates on at any time if he's got any sense of pressure, which if you look into his vision, he knows expansion is up. He's already scouted his base. He only sees his pool here. And he's just doing a little scouting as a zealot, but he knows that there's a good chance that there's not that much coming. I mean, there's a bunch of lanes out here, but they can't break this wall. And not much else. We do see these 3 gates plus Twilight Council go down. And what we're going to see here is that this Stalker gets out just in time to stop this Overlord from seeing anything. Basically, this is a good spot to high tech, and it's very typical. I think most Zerg players, once they spot the opponent's base, they put these Overlords back in this side, so that you can monitor this 3rd and swing in here for tech detection. It's good to have one Overlord on both sides, so you can spot this 4th whenever it goes down, you can spot this 3rd. A lot of people put it in here. I really prefer this location better. I mean, it's to see a macro hatch, which I don't really think is necessary. I think he might just be afraid of a 6 gate, as we do see that a lot in ladders, especially in the ladder, because it's more likely to, a lot of people in the ladder preferred 2 base rushes. We used to see on the beginning of the first season a lot of 1 base play, and you still see that a lot, and then it transitioned into 2 base play, and I think now we're even getting to the point where we're seeing a lot of 3 base all-ins, and not that much macro-oriented play, but it is starting to pop up more, and I'm happy for that. And as we go and crack open a drink, oh my god, so thirsty. Just as I know, this Dark Shrine went down about a minute ago, and I really like this play. We already got DTs warped in here. He doesn't see it. We have no Evo chamber just finishing right now, but as we're going to see from our Zerg player, he's not going to get that much detection up in time. And what we're going to see here is that these DTs, what they're going to do is they're going to prevent expansions, but that's not their main role. What they do from there, once you know that your opponent gets expansions, you get overseers, you take map control from there on. And we're going to see is an overkill of DTs, and I wonder if it's just this floating gas, and he just feels like, or he just loves DTs. I'll have to ask him about that later. But we see a lot coming in here, and we're going to see him basically kill off this expansion. And whenever you get a chance to prevent your opponent, especially Zerg, to get ahead on bases, and you take your third, you're in great shape. 2 Spore Crawlers going down. It's unfortunate they're not in the right position. All these drones are going to go, and we're going to see his expansion go. Back at home, you don't see much going on. He's floating a lot of minerals, floating a lot of money. This is one thing I would want to say to improve on, is that if you look at his APM, I'm actually quite surprised it's this low at this point. I know he's not notorious for spamming in the beginning of the games, but I'm really surprised of whether he's just like dicking around on the ladders. We're gonna see he's gonna get a couple worker kills down here, but he's not gonna be able to do too much damage. But here's his point: is that as soon as you are done taking expansion, you take map control. And especially in this map, you can take all 4 Xel'Naga watchtowers with ease, and I think that's what some people could learn incorporating the DT play. And I know Zess has worked diligently to use DTs to the fullest of their potential, and I think it's kind of funny. This DT's just kind of chilling here on the edge of this cliff while this lane's just kind of look at him. He's not even getting control of the watchtower, and he does fix that eventually. But and then what we're going to see into here, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see into a Zealot Archon transition, which is anytime you're going DTs, it's a good transition to follow up with. I know people who try to go straight Zealot Archon. It is actually more cost efficient to do High Templar, and against Zerg, it's one thing you can do because Storm is very good against Bio, and you can get a lot more Archons, and you can get a lot more a much better money. God, what's the word? I'm too thirsty for this. Money spending, money distribution. All the Zelts cost minerals, you all know that, and then the High Templars cost gas, and you split it evenly, and you get charged, and you wreck face. But what we see here is that he starts off with DTs and then transitions into Archons afterwards. So there's no point in getting High Templars. He's already doing enough damage and it's doing a very cost-effective strategy. And we do see him being able to get this third back up and overdoing the Spore Crawlers. And it forces your opponent to spend resources to not only, 1, get their expansions back up, but 2, to get detection and get static detention and static defenses. And that's just resources that is, in my opinion, helps you get ahead. That's what these DTs are for. They don't win you the game. They help you get in a position to stay ahead and then win the game in the later end. So we see Sess getting his third. He's getting a little better with his money here. Ahead on food by a crap load. And we see Blink going halfway through. Anytime you get Twilight Council tech, anytime in the late game, Blink is good. Especially if you have good micro, especially if you want to pick off Overseers with your Dark Templars, if you have those in your army, anytime they can't see Dark Templars, it's always a good thing. And what we're going to see here is going to try to get into a Colossi transition, which I think is a good move here, as we see not much at home for the Zerg player. We see Fungal Growth being researched, and we're going to see Infestor play for Hectic, but that damage done to those expansions, even this fourth, I'm pretty sure is going to get killed if I remember the replay enough, but I don't think it's going to matter. Some Infestors are just not going to be enough. All the Zerg player has right now are lanes and a few roaches, compared to Stalkers, Zealots, Archons, Dark Templars. So a huge tech advantage of this Protoss. I guess it's Zerg. Excuse me. Taking up a sip. So 2 more Robos going down, which I think is good. He's getting his third. He's floating a lot of money. I think right now, as he's attacking, he should be taking this 4th right here. But he's upping that too. It's perfectly fine, especially if you think you're that far ahead. But just because for that reason, he's not going to see this base, and he's still thinking his opponent's on 3 bases. So if this attack does not work, his Zerg player can actually get back ahead. And we see a huge army for Zez coming in. We got